What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with the most recent physique update from the reigning Olympia champion Samson alongside his wife and his coach Marlena, who by the way helped him get into the best shape of his life at the Olympia last year. And she really played a big part in Samson winning the Olympia. So today marks 14 weeks out of this year's Mr. Olympia, and things are ramping up for all of these guys, including Samson who is gonna enter this upcoming Mr. Olympia with, I'm gonna say, the most amount of pressure. Because first of all, it's gonna be a new feeling as an Olympia champion defending his title for the very first time. And secondly, he knows everybody's chasing him. Now some people out there were questioning that Samson might be a bit too heavy for 14 weeks out. Well, in my opinion, weight is kind of irrelevant for him. We all know he just stops weighing himself when he starts the Olympia prep, especially when he is about 2 months out mark. So what really matters is him showing up absolutely ripped and bring a whole new level of conditioning. That is the only way he's gonna retain his Olympia title this year. I mean, the message was sent loud and clear at this year's Arnold, Ohio, that even if he slips just by a tiny bit, and the other guys, they are 100% on, namely Nick, Derek, Hadi, then Samson is gonna get beat. And we have to keep in mind that Samson looked crazy good at this past Arnold, Ohio finals, and he still could not beat Derek Lunsford, although the gap, that was merely by just 1 point between both of them. So it has been said time and time again that Samson's fate, that is in his own hands. If he brings the condition, if he brings the detail, then he's gonna win the Olympia no matter what. Because this is the men's open bodybuilding we are talking about. And it's a very simple fact that no one is more bigger and more complete than Samson He just has one mandatory shot, the back double biceps, which isn't among the top 3 best in the world. While all the other poses, they are very impressive on this guy. And the man has no holes in his physique in all the other shots. So looking forward to see how Samson handles these next 14 weeks, as the man is very focused and very determined to become 2 times Olympia champion in October. So a very impressive looking Marc guest post today, also confirming his first show of the season. So he's gonna be stepping on this upcoming Italy Pro stage, which is happening in about 9 weeks time, and which is one of the last Olympia qualifiers for this year's big event. So Marc did only 1 show last year, and that was the Big Man weekend. And that was to see where he's at after his shoulder surgery, and not just 1, 2 surgeries. And the man was able to make top 4 in that show, which by the way was a deep lineup. So this time he's coming back with a whole lot of new muscle and a totally different build. Now some of us, including myself, have always rated his physique very high and his potential to be among one of the best out there, provided that he makes some improvements in his back and in his legs. So the quads this time are looking a lot better, much bigger from the front, and his back also looks improved compared to how he looked back in 2023. Now if we look at his front relaxed pose from the back, that shoulder to waist ratio, that is so damn insane, absolutely bonkers. And that makes him a very unique athlete in his own way. Plus he is very round and very 3D and very detailed in the chest and in the delts. His most muscular shot is so goddamn phenomenal because of his shoulder to waist ratio and his overall width and his amazing aesthetics. Now Sergio Oliva Jr. has announced that he's gonna be doing this upcoming Italy Pro show. And now we have a challenger in the form of Marc Next up, we have the 4 weeks out physique update from arguably the most genetically gifted athlete in this year's Tampa Pro lineup. And not just that, one of the most gifted guy in the entire pro bodybuilding scene, Quinton Beastwood. And it seems like that the man is 100% satisfied with the way things are looking right now, with him self-coaching. And I must agree that the man looks pretty damn solid. He's holding on to that size very well. The thing is, last time he lost plenty of muscle In those last 6 weeks, leading into the New York Pro, he was doing up to 2 hours of cardio with very low food intake. And as per Quinton himself, he burnt a lot of muscle down while following that plan. So he isn't making that same mistake again. And just for the record, he only had 2 more weeks to fill up after the New York Pro to Toronto Pro last year. And the man did a fine job, transitioning from a stingy-looking bodybuilder to a guy who pushed someone like a Kim Williams for the win at last year's Toronto Pro show. Now, I do believe that he was more shredded and more conditioned at the New York Pro, but the judges liked his more fuller and more muscular version better, and that is Quinton's strength. He's a very tall, very wide, and a very aesthetic guy who can take up plenty of space on the stage, and he can stand out in any kind of lineup, especially in those first 2 shots, the front double biceps and the front lat spread, and they are absolutely deadly on him. So this year at the Tampa Pro, we're gonna see a much better combination of size and conditioning from Quinton. And if he can successfully combine both of these aspects, there is no reason to believe that he cannot win this upcoming Tampa Pro show and qualify for the Olympia this year. Just think about it. Justin Shire is also a very aesthetic guy, but Quinton Beastwood, he isn't just aesthetic. He's a very big guy and a very tall guy, and that is gonna give him a lot of advantage. How about some more physique updates from Marcelo aka Horsemdi, and they are from the morning of the show. So we know that is without any kind of pump, but that right there is a whole lot of muscle lost. And Horsemdi literally looks so flat in the chest and the shoulders. Now you guys will get a better idea if you compare this recent update versus how he looked on the morning of the Big Man Weekend last year, where he beat a bunch of some amazing bodybuilders. Now we might see Horsemdi in the best condition of his entire career today in Portugal Pro, and if he is able to fill up properly, because he had to lose plenty of muscle, every ounce of fat in his body to make the weight cut off. So if he can fill up properly, he might look very impressive, and it's very clear why Horsemdi had 2 kgs to spare in terms of his classic physique weight limit, because he lost so much muscle, so much pop. So this is turning out to be a very exciting storyline for this year's Portugal Pro show. And who knows, Horsemdi might even win this show on his first try in classic physique. His quads are gonna be all ripped and all feathered up, as they have always been. We know his quads are some of the best in the game. Now from a physique standpoint, obviously he would have looked a lot better in the men's open, but he has his own health concerns, and being in classic, that will allow him to eat very less and use less amount of PEDs and the gear too. So what are your expectations from Horsemdi after looking at these updates? Next up is the physique update from John Jewett. Totally unfiltered and looking on point for 5 weeks out of the show. Now I am pretty sure that he's in for this upcoming Texas Pro, maybe Tampa Pro too, but we will wait for his announcement. Now people kind of tend to dedicate everything to elite genetics and gear usage. Yes, that is one of the most important aspects in pro bodybuilding scene, but this transformation of John, that is gonna make you realize how much time and dedication you have to give and how much resilient you have to be in order to look the way this man is looking at the moment. So the most important aspect of this transformation is his waistline. Bigger, rounder shoulders, more width, that helped him get over this weakness. And there is a lot of hard work between these 2 pictures. So John was the winner of last year's Van Pro, and he went on to place top 11 at his first ever Mr. Olympia. And this is where he was expecting to place last year at the Olympia. But based on the scorecards from the prejudging, he could have been in the top 10 very easily had he maintained that same prejudging look. So John hasn't competed at all after the Olympia last year. So expect to see him a few pounds heavier, with more muscle, more density and more thickness on his frame. Now you do not have to worry about his conditioning, as he has been one of the most consistent guy in terms of conditioning, and the man looks pretty much spot on for 4 weeks out. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.